every J1 participant has a tax obligation. If you earn income here in the United States, you must file a tax return. While it may not be the most fun part of your J1 experience, it is really important for you to pay taxes and comply with the US tax law when you are working with a J1 visa in the United States. And plus, who doesn't want to file their tax return if you will get some of your hard-earned money? Welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for J1 visa and American culture. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you'll always be notified whenever we upload new jam-packed videos. And without further ado, let's now jump into the video. So before filing taxes, especially if this is your first time, it is essential to know the basic terms, concepts, and also the best practices. Working in the United States with a J1 visa means that you have probably a number of taxes that are being deducted in your salary. As a J1 student in the United States, you will be considered as a non-resident for tax purposes. So as a non-resident, you are only required to pay the taxes for the income that you have earned here in the United States. So in this video, we are going to talk about why is it important to file a tax return, who is the IRS, what are the taxes that you need to pay, what is the federal income tax bracket, how do you calculate your tax return, what will happen if you don't file your tax return, and how to file a tax return. But before we dive into the video, we have an important shout out to do. Now, if you are wondering how can you be featured in the next video, well, all you have to do is like this video and leave a comment down below or take a screenshot of this video and post it in your Instagram story. But don't forget to tag me at rioworldwide.co so I can see your post. So now let's dive into the video. First things first, why is it important? Because every J1 visa holder must file their tax return at the end of the tax year, and it is the law that is really required. So if you don't follow that, you might encounter problems. And also, not only J1 visa holders are required to do that, even American citizens, permanent resident, or other other visa holders are also required to do that. So you really have to do that in order to avoid problems in the future. And plus, who doesn't want to file their tax return if you will get some of your hard-earned money? So who is IRS? IRS stands for Internal Revenue Service. The IRS is the government agency that enforces federal tax code here in the United States. So number 3 is what are the taxes that you need to pay as a J1 visa holder. So J1 visa holders are usually taxed based on the following. Number 1, income earned from working in the United States. Second is from your stipends, awards, grants, and fellowship. And next is other income earned from working here in the United States. So depending on the location where you work here in the United States, there may be up to 4 different types of taxes that you are required to pay. Federal taxes, state taxes, local taxes, and FICA taxes. So what is a FICA tax? As a non-resident J1 student, you should not be charged FICA tax. However, it may happen, and if so, you should apply for a refund, unless you qualify as a resident alien due to previous presence in the United States. So some states here in America do not charge income state taxes, like Florida, Nevada, Texas, and Washington. So the amount of taxes that you have to pay depends on your income. So I will show you the bracket so you will know what percentage you are in and how much you need to pay them. There are 7 federal tax brackets for the 2019 tax year. Your bracket depends on your taxable income and filing status. These are the rates for taxes due in April 2020. The set of numbers below shows the brackets and rates that apply to the current 2019 tax year and relate to the tax return you'll file in 2020. So a lot of people wants to know how to calculate their tax return. Your refund is calculated as the amount withheld for federal income tax minus your total federal income tax for the year. So after you calculate your taxes, you might be wondering, well, my employer is withholding more than this. Well, you might be probably right because your employer is not only deducting federal income taxes from your salary, but also they are deducting Social Security tax, Medicare tax, and also state income tax. So just to reiterate that not all of your employers will deduct a state income tax. It just depends on what state you are in because every state has different laws and different requirements. So if you are having a hard time calculating your own tax return, there's a bunch of websites that offer free calculator or tax return calculator. All you have to do is enter your information, your W-2, and how much you earned that year so they can help you all throughout with your process. So next is what will happen if you don't file your tax return. Well, it can be a problem in the future. So if you are planning to go back here in the United States or stay here in the United States or live here in the United States, that can be one of the reasons for your future visa denial. So make sure that you always comply with their requirements. So next is how to file a tax return. Well, first things first, you have to identify how do you want to file your tax return. So there are 3 steps to file your tax return. Number 1 is know or choose how you want to file your tax return. Is it with a tax preparer, a CPA accountant, or an online software? And by the way guys, not all online softwares are available for us J1 students because we are non-residents. There are only certain tax softwares that can be used by a J1 visa holder. So make sure that when you choose an online software to prepare your tax return, make sure that you put that you are a non-resident and they accept non-resident applicants, because if you file your tax return as a resident, there can be a lot of complications. So there's a lot of laws, rules, and requirements that needed to be done correctly. So for me, I know what I am only capable of, and I am not expert in filing a tax return. That's why I always use a tax preparer. Now, for the difference between the tax preparer and an online software, a tax preparer, of course, you can talk to them, like person to person, or you can visit their offices. Or for example, like me, I am here in Pennsylvania and my tax preparer is in California, and we just communicate through phone call. While a tax online software, you can use it wherever you are or anywhere you are in the world. And most of the time, they are cheaper or for free. Unlike for tax preparer, I have to pay them $100 to $120, I think. And if you use a CPA, that will be more expensive. So I explained the difference of the tax preparer, a CPA, and also an online software from my last video. I will link it down below, or also just put it here in the card so you guys can just click it. So if you will ask me for my recommendation, well, I recommend all of them. Personally, I haven't experienced the online software. I only experienced the tax preparer, but in my own opinion, I think all of them are legit. You just have to find the right one. And by the way guys, if you're a non-resident in the United States, you cannot use TurboTax. So that is something that you should check out or cross off on your list. So if you have decided how you want to file your tax return, let's now move on to the required documents. If you earn income in the United States, you must file a tax return. It is very important that you have the correct documents required to prepare and file your tax return. These include passport, U.S. entry and exit dates for current and all previous visits, all tax form you have received, visa or immigration status information form DS 2019, social security number, or individual taxpayer identification number. And the third step is wait for your money to be deposited in your bank account. So how long will it take? Usually it takes 21 days for the IRS to direct deposit in your bank account. If you are not using a direct deposit as your option, it can be a little bit longer. Also, I highly suggest for you to file your tax return because you will get your money back. A certain amount from the taxes that they withheld from your salary, you will get it. So it's like a win-win situation. So either of them is safe as long as that tax preparer or that CPA accountant has a legit business. You need to make sure of that. And or also the online software that you will be trusting with all of your information, you need to make sure that they have a good reputation and they are really legit. But at the end of the day, it still depends on you because we have all different kinds of needs. I don't think so, because before I tried filing it by myself so I don't have to pay anyone, but then I still ended up, choosing a tax preparer because when I searched it on Google, the IRS recommended all of these online tax software that are free to use, but then I realized I am not very knowledgeable enough to use this online tax software even though it is for free, so I ended up hiring a tax preparer. So the cost will depend on your income. If you're using an online tax preparer, your income is below 66,000, then that is for free. Or if you decided to use a tax preparer, usually they cost from $100 to $150. And if you want to use a CPA accountant, that will be double the amount of the tax preparer. So usually it will be $200 to $300. And that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you still have any questions, just comment down below and I will be happy to assist you. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you'll be notified on my next video. But while waiting for my next one, don't forget to click these two videos right here. I make a lot of J1 videos that will for sure help you with your process. And that's all for today, guys. I'll see you on my next one. Bye for now.